Hey guys, so this video will be just me sitting and rambling about a few things. Number one is going to be about dopamine, and two is going to be about deep work. And this video is going to be a little bit of self-reflectory as well on my life. And I do want to start recording my journey as I progress and as I live, and realization that I have and the lesson that I learned more with you, so that, you know, for those of you who do feel the same way as I do, who just want to kind of, you know, do something useful with their life and achieve things and build something nice, and always feel like, you know, you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing, what's so-called you're trying to just fulfill your potential. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be more useful for you, so you can just follow along and learn from it. So I was just like reflecting back on a couple of my last years, and you know, I finished school in 2017, and I did work super hard in school. Was pretty happy with my productivity levels back there, and then as I finished, I started working. Had a finance kind of job for a year. I grinded really hard too, and then, as some of you know, I started the online business in 2018, and from there, like first couple of 2 years, I was just like working so hard, was so laser focused, super productive, structured, had my day planned out, and was following through the plan, and it was all good and great. Whereas the whole last year, kind of found myself in this spot where that kind of all fell apart. And I think there's many reasons to that, but perhaps one of the biggest one being that, you know, I've achieved some success, and, you know, I've scaled my business to like mid-7 figures in top line, and, you know, I kind of made some money first, so my really first success ever, and maybe that's where I think I started like kind of flattening out, and maybe tinkering down with all my sort of a drive and ambition for everything, and what's so-called I kind of became more content and just relaxed, and it was fine for a period of time. But as you probably know, if you have the same personality like I do, and if you wire this way, you can't just really help it. But, you know, you start feeling worse and worse about if you're not productive, if you're not doing maximum what you can be doing, you're not doing something, you're not producing something helpful and useful, you just not really feeling it. I think some of you might know what I mean. Yes, and overall my work just became overall, you know, pretty shallow. I was getting distracted, and my life structure just wasn't there as I like it to be, and it kind of all fell apart. And that's why, you know, there is this saying that when one pillar of your discipline kind of falls, everything else just follow through. And it's true, you know, when you, for example, had a great diet, great exercise schedule, sleep schedule, and everything, you know, the moment you start slipping on one, it just will feed into everything else. You know, you snack late, you had dinner late, you cannot fall asleep anymore, you wake up later, your workout schedule now is all messed up, and it's just the way it works. It's like a domino effect. Same goes true for good habits. And so here am I finding myself at the end of last year, really just in this spot where, like, you know, kind of have things and achieve certain results, but like, yeah, I'm just like not really striving anymore. Not really thrilling. It's not thrilling, and that's where I think I overall run to this really nice video on YouTube about dopamine. And I've heard about this. I'm sure you've heard about this too, but I just never realized the almost in a sense like a scary reality of this, or how important it is actually, and how impactful it is on our lives, on our physiological level, and essentially what dopamine is just it's a chemical that your body produces that makes you desire things, and when you feel nice and happy and kind of fulfilled, that's really just you have a bunch of dopamine running in your body, and it's a good thing. But the thing is with that is dopamine just works just like an alcohol or a drug, meaning that you can develop insensitivity towards this. If you have way too much of it, your tolerance grows, and, you know, just like with drug, what satisfied you earlier gave you a kick, it doesn't even satisfy you anymore, so you need more of that. And that's exactly why you see people, just all of us, basically indulging in the self-destructing instance behavior, and it just kind of grows more and more, it's simply because now it's not enough. You know, and our video game is not enough anymore, or I don't know, 5 hours of Netflix to binge. Not enough anymore neither. We need more and more, and then by the end of it we find ourselves just more even broken and empty, just because we know we kind of wasted time and we did what we weren't supposed to do. But anyways, and that's where I realized that once you have all these things that makes your brain produce all this dopamine and makes your brain literally fried on dopamine, that's no wonder then actually you might be having everything and your life is great, but you just don't feel like it, just because you're so overstimulated, when then your real life, which is, you know, day to day, is pretty boring actually. No matter what you do, your routine, you cannot follow through because it's way too boring. And that's how exactly also it impacts your work, and you're not able to deep work anymore, because again your brain always seeks for next like a stimuli. It wants to be stimulated all the time. And that's exactly, I realized, was one of my problems, is because I found myself whenever working not spending more than like 15 or 20 minutes without either grabbing my phone or checking my social media, doing stuff that I don't even need to do, or just getting up and playing with my cat, or just checking something else, or jumping from message to email, and you basically all over the place. And so where I found myself is, you know, I do seem to be pretty occupied and busy, but by the end of the day I just don't really feel happy about the output that I produce, and I'm just not productive. I'm just a busybody. And as time went by, I really started hating it. And that's where I realized that why I have even an urge or a need to be like doing something else, and I cannot even focus truly on one thing for like not even an hour, but like 30 minutes. It's because of literally that physiological need. I have like a withdrawal or a need to get a kick from something, and you know, it can be anything. For somebody, like, we derive dopamine from everywhere, you know, from like indulging on food, on bad food all the time, or like a social media, video games, Netflix, TV, endless YouTube videos, and all those things. And again, it's not to put it down or to say like, oh yeah, it's evil or bad or wherever. No, those are great things, and you know, give it a joy, but it's all about moderation. And the problem is, though, all of this technology and things that brought us a lot of great things, unfortunately the way they're built, right, is really to have you hooked and have you come back and be there as much as you can, to suck out as much time and energy from you as you can. That's why it's developed this way, and millions of dollars and very smart people work on everything you can think of, from any social media, endless feeds, right, the way it pops in your face, the way colors works. If you think like, you know, it doesn't really affect you, but it really does, and makes you come back more and more for really something that you don't really care about. But brain doesn't understand that, because it just gives you that desire for that novelty kind of thing, right, for that chance almost. That's why slot machines, that's why casinos are so addictive, right? It's all about that chance, that gamble to take. And that's what I just started realizing. And one of the things now, it's been just almost actually a week that I literally just cut it all out, like all my social media, don't even check it. Maybe I allow myself now like just go in there on the weekends, and I just cut out all the YouTube. I don't watch anything YouTube for entertainment. Maybe if anything I just need to learn or look something up informational. And there's just no Netflix, no TV, and on top of that I just like have my phone now on the pilot mode and just throw it away, and I just don't even see it for most of my day. And thankfully, yes, I don't really have anything job-wise or anything that requires me to be there on it all the time. So, and it's been just a week, and frankly speaking, it's been amazing. It's been awesome. I feel like more like I'm back in, I guess that's a word, to be in control of your life, where actually I decide, where actually I put an agenda, like what I'm going to do with my time and how I control it. And on top that, I actually now can be doing things that I actually do care about, and that's where I want to put my time, effort, and energy into. And it's been really amazing. And that's why that's why there's this thing that's called like dopamine detox. I know it might sound pretty extreme, but frankly speaking, just because of I'm coming from the place of extreme abuse of all these things that are available to us, all the things that are listed, now you need a kind of extreme time of absence sort of thing, right? So you can balance it out. So I'm not sure for how long, but going forward, yeah, that's how I'm gonna just keep it, like just cut out all the social media and almost for the most all the entertainment, any messaging, any like again TV, YouTube, or I mean I don't game. I used to game a lot, but that's gone thankfully. So no more video games, none of this, nothing that can really overstimulate me and it give me this instant kick, instant gratification for this, so my brain just rest and detox. And I also actually already start seeing results in my ability to focus and to actually go deep work, where now actually it's been forever since I was able to sit down actually just for 2-3 hours straight and literally just do nothing without getting up, just to do one thing. And not even having an urge to grab my phone or check something what's going on out there. And it's been incredible. That's how exactly you detoxify your brain from dopamine, and your urge to being exposed, to be stimulated over time is being gone, and you're just okay with boredom. And in fact, many people always ask, oh, how you derive motivation, or how I get inspired for this or that. And the point is actually not to be motivated, because we all know it's temporary, doesn't last, you cannot run on it for a long time. And there's this book, Atomic Habits, which is great, and I recommend it to building your daily habits. But even in there, it talks about how don't bet on motivation, but just get okay with boredom. Be okay with boredom, because again, no matter what you do, most of the day will be boring, and it's just gonna be a routine. It doesn't even matter what you think. There's this lie that you think right now. Let's say you have maybe a day job that you don't like, and you want to be doing this business, or you're doing something that you don't like, and you want to be an artist one day, and you really think your life will be so exciting every day, you'll be doing what you're loving, and it's just not true. Like you ask absolutely anybody, any person who's doing something great, most of the day is just a routine. It's just a thing that you got to be doing, and on top of that, when you're even going to be doing something that you really love, and it's true, you're going to enjoy it by the end of the day, it's going to keep you up at night. But bulk of that work, those little things, routines, you just don't like, you'll hate it. And that's what the point, to be okay with boredom, just to do it what you need to do really before you. But to do that, I think you just need to be okay with reality and not to be over intoxicated on dopamine and not overstimulated. But then also what's awesome is, once it's just for the season of time, I'm really going to this detox. It doesn't mean now like, okay, for the whole life, no more fun, right? No more social media, none of this stuff. No, it's just for the period of time, just because I need to balance out. But then what's great also, now I find myself, the little things that really maybe I didn't even care before, now really brings a lot of joy. And even, like 5 minutes of some maybe entertainment videos or something really feels different. And I feel like that's much more healthy. Having this time also, you don't realize how much time you actually free up. And if you start really paying attention to your screen time analysis or reports on your phone, you will be shocked. Like I look back, and sometimes my last year, some of the days I have like 10 to 12 hours screen time a day. That literally means all my almost awakening hours I have my phone on. That's insane. Just doing stuff that again you think you want but you don't really care about, and it prevents you from stuff that you really want to be doing. It's crazy actually. So just this awakening, and that's what I want to share with you. I know that sounds basic maybe, but for me it's just revelationary. And there's this deep work. Why I keep talking about deep work is because if you really want to either switch career or learn something new that is really hard and challenging, or just want to produce something useful and great, it will require you to be able to deep work and to focus and really go deep, because shallow work will not get you what you want in terms of if you're really trying to do something challenging. And that's why there's a book called Deep Work, and I strongly recommend that, because in the last 3 weeks I really just crammed these 3 books, which was Deep Work, which was Willpower, and also One Thing. And they all talk about this one thing. That's just, you just focus on one thing and you get rid of distractions and you go deep. Really, you focus and you just do that. And if we look, people who have done great things historically, whether it's J.K. Rowling, when she was locking herself up in a hotel with a laptop that didn't have access to internet and just writing Harry Potter. She was not on social media, she was nowhere, you couldn't reach her. Same thing with Bill Gates when he was writing code for Microsoft for hours straight, pass out on a desk with a keyboard, just wake up and and work again on it. It's it just makes sense to you that to achieve anything good and really great and outstanding and nice, you have to be able just to go so deep. And again, I'm not really promoting this idea of work hard, no sleep, just 24/7 grind. No. In fact, that book, Deep Work, it just talks about even the author himself, who has done and achieved great things in academic world. He says he never worked past 5 or 6 p.m. on a weekday and never worked weekends. It's not really about how much you work, but what you get done in those hours. Even if you work only for 5 to 6 hours a day, what you get done. And those people who are able, it's a skill that you develop, who are able to go deep and focus without any distractions, to really use and deploy all of the cognitive and mental capacities that they have put into this creative work. You can achieve in the same 3-4 hours, you can achieve most people achieve in a week, really, just because how distracted today's majority of people are, really. And it's an understanding just because of this environment and everything. That's why you really have to structure, have boundaries about like how you use all these devices and medias and platforms and everything. Yes, apart from now cutting that, I can now focus deeper. And also what I want to be doing is I want to be now for the next 6 months or so, actually, I want to get down to this. And apart from getting all the dopamine from my body for the most part and getting rebounds, getting to the normal levels, I actually want to start really focusing back, because I miss the times where I could just sit down in my school when I just started the business, that drive and that hunger when I could just sit down and do one thing, focus on things that I really want to be doing. After now freeing up this time and putting the right priorities and really structuring my day, getting all structured. Another thing I also realized that all this, like, having online business and everything, it's really great. And you have all this freedom, right? Like working from the beach or wherever people dream about. But also, that can be cursing and or curse or blessing, because that freedom it depends what you do with this. And in this whole freedom, I really kind of didn't manage it well and lost myself and all the structure and everything. And that's exactly why it's now like left me, I don't know, not in the best spot. But now I want to get back into putting the right structure, putting the boundaries, structuring everything. Almost I want to structure, every hour of my day, where I know what I will be doing and what I will not be doing. And now developing really just focusing on the two things, cutting out all this noise and this crap that I don't care about, just sucks from me and leaves me really with not much. Just focusing on really two things, which is, number one for me, I want to love God, I want to know Him more, and just want to serve Him and His people and love them. And two, just focus on business and just build good business, learn how to do it, and build great products that will elevate somebody's pain points, that will solve some problems in the world. I just want to do that, and through that, actually, I know I have a high calling to fulfill the first part, which is serve people, serve this world, do something productive with your time, build something nice and useful, something constructive and not destructive. And this is really the only two things that I care about, at least in this period of time. Might change, of course. Now, what I want to be doing is I will be actually learning. I want to go into coding and programming, and to learn a few programming languages from scratch. I don't have any technical background, and why, I'll probably make a separate video about that. But my plan is now, I will be now getting back and relearning and remembering my ability to deep work every day from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning every day except for Saturday. I will be doing just that, shutting down my phone and everything else, and just working and learning on that one thing. And I'll be going actually live on YouTube every single morning from 5 to 8. So if you find yourself in a spot that I just kind of described, or even you don't really have to be that, but if there's something that you really wanted to do for a long time, but it's really hard, it's super challenging, maybe it's that book that you wanted to start writing for a long time, or that song, or you want to switch career and you want to learn new skill, whether it's to trading or design, Photoshop, or programming, coding, just like myself, something really hard and challenging, or maybe just a new language. Why it's important to do it just early in the morning, guys? That's exactly, Brian Tracy said, to eat the frog first thing in the morning, to do the hardest thing that you've been putting off for a long time, is because in the morning your willpower levels is just at the highest. That's why it's nice just to get up early on. It will be tough, but that's what it takes. And just to get it done, just knock it out first, and to work on things that's gonna matter the most, that you actually care about, that you love the most, and that will put you forward. And then just go with the rest of your day, whether it's your job at 8 or 9 or wherever. But I'll be going from 5 to 8 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. So just come in, plug in for wherever you can. If it's just 1 hour, if it's just honestly 30 minutes, but it's that thing that is so important to you. It's so hard to do, and you've been putting it off for a long time. To be honest, there is no better time than to do it. But to get discipline, to have that willpower, to have that grit and self-control, and just sit down and do that, and just over time see it really paying off. And for myself, the goal is within the next 6 months is to learn basic understanding of programming and coding, few programming languages, and so that I will be able to crank out my own prototypes and MVPs. And for purposes I will make again separate video about, but so that's really my goal. So for the next 6 months I'm gonna do exactly that, and you too pick something that you really want and that will make you credible, that will perhaps make you more money or will enable you to find a part-time job on the side, or maybe that will turn into business, whatever that is. For some of you, I know this is probably gonna apply to really minority, and if that sounds crazy to you and everything, I understand that, but it's really, the more I live, I just start understanding that this is just the way I'm wired and I can't really help it, that I need to be always occupied. I need to channel all this energy and this drive somewhere and be busy, not busy but productive, that's really better word, and fulfilling this kind of potential. Otherwise I just feel like I waste the talent, I waste time, I waste gifts that were given to me, and it feels horrible, and that's really it. So plug in again and just work along, focus on your thing, but this will be more of a accountability / it's always, to do things easier, better, maybe with somebody and together, if you need a little bit that push of motivation kind of thing. Okay, so that will be it, and we'll see how that's gonna go.